Hello, welcome back once again. We're reaching the 22nd episode of the Aussie Footy Show, the PJ Show, Footy Show. Let's get it started. Okay, today's episode, we'll be sharing round 18 reviews and results. So much to share, and I tell you right now, this is going to be a good episode, and hopefully you enjoy as we hit 6 more rounds remaining. That's it, 6 rounds, and we'll be in the finals. So as we reach close to the finals, we have 6 more rounds to go. As I just mentioned before, I'm going to refresh you all about your mind, my thoughts and reviews, and how the result come for round 18. We also will head into round 19 as well for the reviews. So really, let's get who think I will win, and let's dive into it. We've got so much to cover for round 18, and started on Thursday night Footy at Marble Stadium. Now this is my reviews, just a bit to refresh your mind. So Carlton and Brisbane go head to head, and I'm going to say that we see Carlton improve against Brisbane over Collingwood, and playing at Marble Stadium should have it all. Brisbane do play well at Marble Stadium anywhere to see this, and this is a different Brisbane lineup than the last time these two met back in 2023. Was Carlton a little bit better, with have 45,000 at the stadium at Marble, and unfortunately it was not this year for Carlton, not their best performance, and Brisbane took even a better effort than last year with fresh players coming in and retirement players, and I'm going to say it was Brisbane really to take this win and take it nicely on Thursday night footy at Marble Stadium. Now we do come to Friday night footy, and it's game 2. This is the game really was the one to watch, and we'll share that very soon. But we do head to Gold Coast at People's First Stadium, Gold Coast versus Collingwood, and I really hope to see a really good crowd. This, my thoughts, the game of the round clearly, and should have also being a sold-out crowd. People's First Stadium on the Gold Coast, and Collingwood are in incredible good form and best team so far in the competition. Gold Coast are also in good form, and a good win from last week back at home to face Collingwood, which will be a test by Gold Coast, where Gold Coast are always hard to play at home. This game at home to face Collingwood, where Gold Coast in a good way are very good. This game will be closed all night, and Collingwood will just get over the line by 15 points or less. Let's find out what happens to this game. We come to Super Saturday football. We got 4 games to share, 2 in the afternoon and 2 in the evening at nighttime football. Now, that Saturday was a really important day, and it was my birthday, so I'm hoping it was just nice weather in Adelaide, and I don't know where else in Australia how the 12th of July was really nice football. Game 3, game 1 for Saturday football, and we have back to Marble Stadium since Thursday night football between the Blues and the Lions. And the Crows, well, they are always Western Bulldogs are absolutely in really good form, and the Bulldogs can play well and should be interesting game. Adelaide Crows holding on to a big win against Melbourne Demons at home. Western Bulldogs taking a win over North Melbourne, and Western Bulldogs have a little bit more momentum coming into this game because they'll play at Marble Stadium back to back, and I really think this will be a great game to watch, and hopefully even a birthday win will come and celebrate well in generally. And really, Western Bulldogs and Adelaide Crows are kicking well for goals, so it should be a goal fest as well. But knowing that I am sticking to the Crows. Adelaide Crows will win and they'll win by 10 points. It will be close. Wow. Game 2, Saturday afternoon football for Super Football, and we have to go ahead to the west of Sydney in the NGIE Stadium. We have GWS Giants versus Geelong Cats. City Geelong Cats. Now, this is a big road win over in Perth by the Giants against the West Coast Eagles, and a good win over Richmond by those City Geelong Cats at GMHB ACBN. Now, who I am taking this win? I am sticking to the Geelong Cats. Now, why Geelong Cats? They play a good game and brand of football that is still really, really good and sexy. Well, GWS, they are back in a massive way at the right time of the season, and they will be taking on a very good quality like Geelong Cats. And I think that GWS will be in front, like really control this game, but I think Geelong will just hold on and take the win. So Geelong by 20 points on that game. We now head to the doubleheader. First up, really not much to say, and both these clubs may not play finals, but hopefully you get a really alright crowd. Now hopefully it's 50 plus, so I'll be happy with that. But a doubleheader on Saturday night footy, and the first game we'll actually share is back in Melbourne, and well, I gotta say right now, we're done from Geelong, now back in the MCG. Richmond and Essendon go head to head. This should be an interesting game to watch. Should be a good crowd at G on Saturday night football, and I'm going with Essendon to take the win by 5 points. I think 5 points. Close game. Both teams coming off losses, so Richmond hope to get some learning ability against Geelong. I think it will be close. Hopefully not overly bad kicking. Both teams love doing that, but I think Essendon will take the win. Even they're struggling with injuries, I think they'll have some spirit to win the game. So heading to the second night, Saturday night footy, the second game, I'd rather say, and this which means game number 6. So really game 5 was the MCG Richmond versus Essendon. So right on track, we're heading now from Melbourne MCG to Western Australia, Optus Stadium, Perth. For the Fremantle Doggers and Hawthorn Hawks. This is a hard one, and my goodness, this is a definitely hard one to pick 50-50 to choose who's want to win this game. Now, I am going to Hawthorn holding on the win over St Kilda, and will bounce back with by Fremantle lose to Sydney at the SCG. So Hawthorn will bounce back at home, but hoping to get the win. I'm going with Hawthorn. I think they've got the best ability to really bounce back and get a win in Perth. It'll be close, and Hawthorn to take the final quarter and will win by 25 points in the West, which is not easy to do. So the last 3 games here on the BJ Show, Aussie Footy Show, and we got Super Sunday football. We got some tickets to share with you. We got 3 games, the last round 18 previews, and the results are coming, ladies and gentlemen. And first game out of 3, game number 7, back at the MCG, Melbourne Demons, North Melbourne Blues. And I got to say, well, not much to say. Both teams may not play finals, but they want to get a good contest out of quite a good crowd at the MCG. I'm going with Melbourne to take the win as they play some good football against the Adelaide Crows, Adelaide Oval, and North Melbourne still want to improve. They can start well but not well finish that game, which is hoping to see that against Melbourne Demons. Should be a good game to watch. Melbourne by 23 points. Alright, second Sunday afternoon football, and we have 3 games to go, which is game 8. That's it, game 8. And we head from the MCG to Marble Stadium for the St Kilda Sydney Swans. Look, good effort for St Kilda. Kicking, but without that bad kicking, it'll be a lot closer against Hawthorn, and well done to, Sydney over Fremantle. Just let my mind set from that. Yes. So, Sydney, well done, taking the win at home against informed Fremantle at NCG. And now I'm going with Sydney. Now, I'm going to say Sydney by 10 points. I think should be a good game, should be a good contest as well, and see what happens very soon in my results. So, final game 3 and game 9. That's it. We had from Melbourne to Adelaide Oval for the last game, and we know that one team definitely not in finals concession. One team just wants to be in that range on that ladder. It is Port Adelaide versus West Coast, and really clearly not much to say. Port Adelaide by 25 points. It should be a really good game. I think West Coast will have massive moments in this game, and should be a good game to watch. So, alright, the reviews are done and dusted. Let's rest your mind as well. It's time to head into round 18 results. So, straight into it now. I don't know each game of who had their crowd. So, I'm going to share that each game by each one, and I'll turn it off and the next one, etc. So, nice and short and sweet. Game 1, look, Thursday night football at my results at Marble Stadium, Carlton versus Brisbane, and 32,898 fans for this game. Really not too bad, better than 25,000 at Marble. So, look, it's a big difference in crowd attendance between these two sides at Marble Stadium. Knowing that Carlton is not having their best season with injuries, but Brisbane playing their brand football and continues to perform really well on the road from home and away. So we'll now share that final score. Brisbane 15-13, 103 defeated, 9-12, 66. So it makes that Brisbane are back in the favourites to win the premiership this season. It's still not convinced that I will go with Brisbane in there. They'll be up there in that top 4. They'll finish strong there, but Carlton heads up always next week. Heads up Carlton always next week against Melbourne Demons. Melbourne will have that. We'll share them very soon, but hopefully that Carlton will bounce back, and back at the MCG will be a really important moment. And I think between these two sides, anyone can win this game. So Brisbane, well done on the road at Marble Stadium, and best of luck against the Western Bulldogs at home, which will be a good test for both sides where they want to be on the ladder. So the player of the game, Josh Dunkley, clearly will perform that midfielder star, includes 28 disposals, 13 tackles, 6 marks, 137.84 fantasy. We had the 26% in the defensive half, with 74% in the forward half, was the 1 goal assist, 7 score involvements, and a 285 metres game. Well done, Josh Dunkley from the midfield from Brisbane. Josh Dunkley's midfield Brisbane star. So, I would like to let you know that Josh Dunkley will versus his former club at the Gala will be a really, really good game to watch, and hopefully it will be a good contest. So stay tuned for all the reviews for that game. Alright, game 2, Friday night football on the Gold Coast at People's First Stadium with the Gold Coast versus Collingwood head-to-head and game of the round indeed. A decent 22,831 fans packed this stadium, and I'm going to share my thoughts right now. So well done to the Gold Coast Suns holding and taking a big win, and really led each game, each quarter and all game, which is really important. Gold Coast holding great pressure against Collingwood, which is Collingwood had no idea really this happened. With Gold Coast just really bring that Collingwood do not like non-pressure and football, and missing easy goals, set shot goals as well. Missing goals from a really good side can cost a lot of pressure, and Collingwood not season over yet. You do play against Fremantle at home, NCG. What should be a good game to watch? Gold Coast will play Adelaide, Rose at the Adelaide Oval on the road. What should be another awesome game to watch, and really see where these two teams face to face as well. The Collingwood Fremantle game. So a really good big crowd on Friday night. This is what Gold Coast, I think, been waiting to see a prime time. They earn that spot, Gold Coast. So well done on that. Collingwood. Heads up, well done Gold Coast, 6-point victory there. So, well, player of the game, Matt Rowell, really credit his disposals, 13 tackles, 1 mark, 2 goals, 140 AFL fantasy, 46% defensive half, 54% with the 4 half, and 6 score involvement was a 565 metres game. So well done to Matt Rowell from the Gold Coast Suns midfield star. Alright, we come straight and continue on here on the Aussie Footy Show, the BJ Show Footy Show, and here on the podcast, wherever you get your podcast, Super Saturday Footy, and we got 4 games to share, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening, like we did round 18. So we continue on to that. So I gotta say that game 3, game 1, Super Saturday Footy at Marble Stadium, back there again, the Western Bulldogs, Adelaide Crows, really good. Well done to the Adelaide Crows, 16-13-109 to 15-8-90. 15-8-98. Well done to the LA Crows. Now taking a good win against form Western Bulldogs at Marble Stadium. Now, I do have the crowd attenders. So, the crowd attenders was 41,198 packed Marble Stadium. So, that is a pretty good effort. And Adelaide Crows want to now, this is the bit that Adelaide needed to win. This to keep them to almost be in that top 4 secured in that range. They will take and host Gold Coast Suns Adelaide Oval. I think it will be a good test, not just for Adelaide Crows, but also the Western Bulldogs. Heads up, Western Bulldogs, always next week will be tested against Brisbane Lions and see where Western Bulldogs really want to play finals at the gutter. We'll find out very soon. Really good games to come for these two sides, which will be a good test and must. We will be taking on Brisbane at the gutter, which it is a good test and must win against a good strong Brisbane Lions. Alright, let's try into the player of the game. Righty, feel for why not for the LA Crows key forward star. Really includes 17 disposals, 9 marks, 2 tackles, 6 goals. That's it, 6 goals straight, 9 misses. And that's where the 122 AFL fantasy, 30% defensive half, 70 forward percentage, and 10 score involvements, 235 metres gained. Well done to Riley Philford from the Adelaide Crows key forward. Game 4, and that's exactly where we are on game 2 for Super Saturday Footy, and we got the heading right now to ENGIE Stadium for Geelong GWS Giants for Geelong Cats. Now, well done to GWS Giants claiming the win over the Geelong Cats. Unfortunately, this wasn't the sexy Geelong Cats style I know for. But GWS Giants played their style football, were too good, and knowing that Geelong were good and coming from the win against Richmond Tigers at home at GMHBA Stadium in Geelong. Geelong will need to take on St Kilda down at home, down at Geelong at GMHBA Stadium, and hope to see another win and get back on the winning list, which GWS Giants will take on Essendon at Marble on the road. We'll hopefully we'll see a win there, but we'll see all the fun with previews very soon here on the BJ Show Footy Show, Aussie Footy Show. So final score 79-111 to 13-785. This was a big win to see. GWS really want to get back on the top 8, and they improved and showed themselves for that. But we do come to the player of the game. That's it. Aaron Carman include 15 disposals, 8 mark, 1 tackle, 6 goals. That's it. 104 AFL fantasy, 13% in defensive half, 87% forward half, 8 score involvements, and a 505 metres game. Well done to Aaron Carman from the GWS Giants 4-star. We now head to a double header here on Saturday Night Footy, Super Saturday Footy, and first up, we'll just head into Melbourne MCG, Richmond Essendon. The crowd attendance was 52,125, which was a decent round for this game. Low scoring from both teams and backing too, as I may mention early in the episode. 16-10, 46 to 4 goals, 13-37. So extremely low scoring, way under average for a normal game scorecard. And Richmond, well done, holding on a big win over a 9-point victory over Essendon Bombers. Anyone can be anyone, and any team and never take them lightly. And both teams are not in the great form. And I understand Essendon, just the injuries, Richmond with the rebuilding, and speed talent is the big key. And yeah, Essendon shows too many injuries, and I'm unsure how Essendon will perform for the rest of the season with so many injuries on the sideline. And Richmond are better with the win, playing an alright footy as well. To make this short, player of the game, Tim Tirito, include 34 disposals, 7 marks, 5 tackles, 1 goal, 132 AFL fantasy, 50% defensive half, 50% forward half, 4 score involvements, and a 410 metres game. Well done to Tim Tirito from Richmond midfield star. Now, second game, and we do head to Perth Optus Stadium for 49,406 fans with the final score 12,577 to 9-4, 9-10-64. So 13-point victory, and well done to Fremantle Dockers, claiming the win in front of the Purple Army. And I tell you right there, well done to Fremantle, taking the win in front of their Fremantle supporters. Hawthorn, heads up, play well next week. This will be the win they needed to get after they lost against Sydney. After those 5 straight wins, they're back on the winning list and staying in the hunt with the finals. Heads up, as I mentioned, Hawthorn, not an easy trip to head to Perth and win in good form against Fremantle. Fremantle heads to Melbourne and MCG against Collingwood, which will be a really interesting game to watch. Hawthorn will be back at Tasmania in Launceston, and they will take on Port Adelaide, which Hawthorn will bounce back after that loss against Fremantle. Well, just making this short and sweet, player of the game, Roy Mink. Well done from the Hawthorn ruckman, including 11 disposals, 3 marks, 13 tackles, 136 A4 fan sets. He, the 8% defensive half, 42% forward half, 48 hitouts. Well done, Roy Mink from the Hawthorn ruckman star. And that is it. Well, 3 games to go for it, and we do come with 5 more rounds remaining and reviews and results. So I gotta say, Game 7, well, yep, that's it. Game 1, we head to the MCG, Melbourne, North Melbourne, and what a great game this was. Well done to Melbourne with the win final rating 11-119, defeated 12-11-83. So the margin was exactly 6 goals, 36 points. 36 points over for Melbourne over North Melbourne. And another win, not making finals, 40 and win. That's all the keys, I think, for Melbourne. North Melbourne, good effort, but not the effort to take the win. They do. North Melbourne travel to the SCG to take on a challenge that Sydney Swans, and will be a really interesting when North Melbourne are. Hopefully they'll be in the contest, but I think really Sydney should take a nice win there. Well, I do come to the play of the game, so hold on your horses. We'll be back. Play of the game. Here we go. We're back. Play of the game. Christian Petracca from the Melbourne Demons, star midfielder, including 31 disposals. We include 5 marks, 3 tackles, 1 goal, 105 A4 fantasy, 30% defensive half, 70% forward half. We've also included a 12 score involvements, 1 goal assist, and a 333 metres game. Well done from the midfielder from Christian Petracca. Game 8, Game 2, we have the head back to Marble Stadium once again. St Kilda, which in my thought, this almost upset of the round. Why upset of the round? St Kilda keep on coming. Sydney needed to win as well to keep on the road to finals. Well effort by St Kilda, never giving up. Kicking more goals than points, which is always nice. Well done to Sydney Swans, claiming and winning. Big win on the road at Marble Stadium, and needed the win. Big win. Bit scary there for Sydney Swans supporters, but be proud. And Dean Cox as well. Heads up with St Kilda. It's always next week, 14-8-92 to 15-9-87. So really well accuracy, pretty balanced in the scoreline, but Sydney holding on a big win shows that over St Kilda, that shows finals race is alive for Sydney. And St Kilda not even playing finals, they are still supporting your team, keep coming out. Good crowd as well to see St Kilda's supporters coming out against Hawthorn and Sydney. So it tells me, showing that St Kilda just getting better with the momentum. When St Kilda supporters come out and support your team, they'll even make a more loud sound, or not as bad, not as great. So more or less, Player of the game, Brody Grundy from Sydney Swans, include 20 disposals, 2 marks, 6 tackles, 126 AFL fantasy, 55% defensive half, 45% forward half, 1 goal assist, 5 score involvements, and a 198 metres game. Well done to Brody Grundy from the Sydney Star Ruckman. Alright, this is it. That's it. We've spoken. The final game, Game 3, Game 9. We head back to the Adelaide Oval for the final game. That's it. Round 18. Well effort was West Coast. Really in front about 3/4 of the game. They did that against Collingwood, West Coast at Marble. They've done that against Port Adelaide. They had a chance to win this game and almost winning this game. Each quarter, but the final quarter, Port Adelaide holding on a big win over West Coast. Well done to Port Adelaide, claiming the win and a lucky win as well at the Adelaide Oval. Well, that Adelaide Oval adds, well, this was the win for Port Adelaide, claiming the win, and they really like to get some momentum coming in, like 5 more games, no more Hingley, they'll bring their new fresh coach and hopefully some win the season as well. So the final score is 12-15, 87. Poor from points and goals, but that's okay. It's win to win to 9-7-67, 9-7-61. The margin was 26 points. So 25 and 26, very close and accurate of guessing these games. And Port Adelaide, well, they travel to Launceston and Tasmania, which they'll be tested by Hawthorn, and West Coast will be hosting the Richmond Tigers after Richmond claiming their win. So I'm hoping to see West Coast to get the win, but I think really don't know where West Coast come together, and really hope to see their first win, West Coast, at home for the season. We have not yet to see that. So hopefully to see a really good crowd for West Coast as well. Alright, so we'll see what happens next week for these games. So part of the game, we'll go straight into Drew Richard from Port Adelaide, including 23 disposals, 6 marks, 7 tackles, 2 goals, 123 AFL fantasy, 27% defensive half, 73% forward half, 8 goal involvements, and a 460 metres game. Well done to Joe Richards from the Port Adelaide midfield forward star. Well, all done with results. We're done with previews, results, all in one round. I'm now going to share with you all into previews round 19. That's it. We have 5 rounds to go, and let's just dive straight into it. Game 1, Marble Stadium. Not much to say about these two sides, but Essendon and G'day's Giants head-to-head go. That's the team will do that. Look, clearly I'm going to say G'day's Giants. Essendon have way too many injuries, and they're going to find some form that they need to do it now. And it's not just a win by Giants. They should win big and boost on some percentage. G'day's Giants by 60 points. And hopefully a good decent 35 to 40,000 pack at Marble Stadium for Thursday night footy. Game 2 heading, that's it, Friday night footy at the Gala. Brisbane Western Bulldogs. Now this will be a bit more better entertainment game to watch. Hopefully it'll be a good contest and a really nice close victory. Brisbane by 15 points. This has to be the win that Western Bulldogs must win, and they know how important and know that Brisbane are a very good team. Brisbane is too good. If Western Bulldogs only, and if Western Bulldogs lose, it's going to make it harder to hunt for the finals. Brisbane should take the win no matter how much. Well, hopefully we'll hear the fan club song Take Me Road, the Country Road from our man and legend forward midfielder Charlie Cameron. Hopefully you kick some nice goals there, mate, and that song. And the fan will sing that song. Alright, moving on to Super Saturday footy, and really not much to say for first game. It is game 3. We're heading to Tasmania, this game is in Launceston. Hawthorn versus Port Adelaide. What a game this should be, but Hawthorn must win to keep in their finals, top 8 alive, even hopefully a top 4. Port Adelaide should just be in the game and make an effort in contest each quarter. But I think it will be a very comfortable win, 40-point victory for the Hawks, and very good at Tasmania. So hopefully that'll be the case, or hopefully. Second game on Super Saturday footy, game 4, heading to the SCG. Sydney versus North Melbourne, and well done holding over the win St Kilda by Sydney. Well done holding on over St Kilda by Sydney. Can we see another win by by Sydney and all North Melbourne coming upset and a big win at the SCG. No, I am surely that Sydney will take the win, and yes, I'm hoping that Sydney will win by 25 points over North Melbourne. Alright, heading to Saturday night footy weekend, we got 2 games to share. Well, game 3, third game, Wizards game 5. We are now heading from Sydney back to Melbourne, MCG. We got Carlton versus Melbourne. Now, not much to say in a way that Melbourne should be the tip. They should take the win. They should take a win over Carlton quite comfortably by 25 points. Should have a good crowd. Hopefully Carlton will be in that contest and a bit better than a lot they will say. Yes, they have not yet to be a best form side, but Melbourne should take the win and win nicely. Alright, well, both teams on the bottom, 17th versus 18th, and 18th versus 19th, and that's where we are. We're heading to Western Australia, Perth, Optus Stadium. Not much to say about these two teams on the bottom of the ladder. Well done to Richmond, claiming a big win over Essendon at the MCG, and West Coast a good effort over Port Adelaide. Well, West Coast was good efforts over Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. I'm going West Coast. I might change the time I record this episode as this goes, so I never know who I will go for. It's pretty hard to choose, and Richmond should take the win after the big win. Yes, they may not have the talent in a massive way than Richmond. Richmond just have young kids on the block, but it should be a nice win by Richmond to take in the win over the West, and that'll be a big one as well. But we now come to the last 3 games, Super Sunday Ticket football, and just to get straight into it, we're heading down now from Perth to Geelong at GMHBA Stadium, Geelong St Kilda. I'm going with Geelong by 20. St Kilda will hopefully be in the game like the last 2 games, in a competitive contest by contest. Geelong will bounce back from that loss against the Giants and on the road. Should be a good game as well. Alright, indeed, alright. Game 8, this is it. Back once again, MCG. Then we'll head to the Adelaide Oval for the final game. But Collingwood and Fremantle is the first one. I'm going with Collingwood to win by 10 points. Should be a close game all game. Fremantle can bring the pressure, and they did that against Hawthorn. You know, I think Collingwood being it early then should be a good crowd as well at the MCG as well. But I think Collingwood will learn that from that loss and how they can bring that ball pressure to bring it stronger. Like I said, close game, and Fremantle will bring that pressure big time and know how important this win should be. But wow, final game, game 9, game 3, and that's part to do with Sunday afternoon footy. But what is in my thought, save the best to last, and both will be tested. Both close on the road to the Adelaide Oval. Hope to see a 45,000 packed sold out crowd. Almost sold out crowd. I'm hoping it will be a good crowd on a Sunday afternoon football. I'm going with Adelaide Crows to take by a win by 7 points. It will be close. I think Gold Coast will have their lead, have their moment penned to, but I think that Adelaide Crows pressure will really hold on really tight, and they did this against Melbourne. Like Melbourne will in front part a very short amount of time, then I think Adelaide will take the win nicely. So before we end today's episode, Aidan, thank you so much for sharing that. Unfortunately, that is alright for not sharing the round 17-18 episode on the BJ Show Footy Show, but it's good to see you back on Up and Running. Stay tuned for that episode as well, this episode, the international agenda, as well as many other special episodes as well. Stay tuned for more of that. Alright, thanks so much for listening. We'll, see you all soon. Thanks for listening. Catch you all soon. The BJ Show's out. Bye for now.